Hello, this is Vanisha. How are you? So, we have another start. Let's see. There we go. Well, it's not for these pictures, but let's talk about Esther. Okay. So, in the book, in the Bible, which I believe was real accounts of history, we have Esther. Very young, very beautiful. And so we talked about Vashti prior to this morning. And basically, what we spoke about was Vashti having the standards to say no to the king and yes to the kingdom, the true kingdom of God. Now, I don't know this lady. I don't know what she did after this. She might have become one of the, I don't know. But we do award her today in her remembrance that she truly stood up and said, I'm not getting on the pole. I'm just not. And she was banished from the kingdom. But and I said, true queens absolutely do not get on a pole. Well, we've all got on something, men and women. So just because you make a, or make a discretion or choose to do something a little around about the way doesn't eliminate you from the will of God or from repentance or deliverance or whatever you choose. Okay, between you and the Creator. Um, so fix your crown, clean yourself up, and get back. Dust yourself off and try again with God. Okay, there you go. We're all innately made of God, made for God's purpose to praise Him, to live for Him, and tell everyone and everything about it. But if you go another route, that's between you and Him. You're still valuable in the kingdom. Okay, I'm having a problem trying to do something different here with this headphone, and let me bring it up a little. Maybe that'll help. Boy, what I got to do now. As I stated, I've had all the equipment before. Thank you guys for joining me. Feel free to shop my Avon link. Feel free to join my club of believers. I'm trying to do something different here. And so, speaking of Esther, since we talked about Vashti, Esther was one that was a recipient of an invitation for the Cinderella ball, but this is for the kingdom. Okay. Um, I want to pull it back. Shoot. So she got an invite through her relative, hearing that Vashti was put away and that he was doing his ball to find a new Cinderella. And so Mordecai, the uncle, comes and says, hey, I can't see you guys. Hold on. Hello, Buckaroo. How are you? Now, again, this is a little bit, I don't know why it's so high up, but we're here, right? So the scriptures say that I don't need this, but I wanted to kind of bring it in because they have so many details that I leave out because I'm used to people interrupting every absolute thing I do. I went to the library, guys, and I was trying to take a test for a job because my computer's outdated. I'll probably get a new one for $300. I can't trade this one because someone, check it out, can't make it up, banged it up. Look at the glass. Did you see that? Let me take this off for a moment. Hold on, I can't make it up. See the glass? And all of the stuff is dented. See the sides? I didn't do that. That's okay. Yep, can't make it up. It's been banged up on purpose. Where's my face? Where's my face? Oh, I back up. It's gone. I'm gone. I can't be on green screen. Ooh. Okay, well, I can't get my face back, but let's see. I have the camera on. I have, someone's been tampering with my videos, guys. Anyway, let's get to the story. Now, why can't I find the book of Esther? Anyway, so they are holding this big ball after they kick out. Okay, so they have this big party. They're telling Vashti, come shake it for the pole. Vashti's like, no. He steady telling people, I got the finest chick. We're all drunk. We're going rampage crazy, talking about who's cool and who's not. They was doing a lot. Very drunk. 3 months straight, I think. They were hanging, honey. And somehow they get real drunk and start telling Vashti to come down and some of the other wives, I think. And it was like, maybe the other wives did do it. But Vashti was like, no. We're good. And they were very upset. You let your wife disrespect you like that? Well, that's not cool in front of us. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And so they're like, if that was my wife, she's making a bad example of the other women. I mean, if she doesn't have to listen to you, then the others are going to think they don't have to listen to us. And yeah, you're right. Yeah. I mean, they really put a decree together that Esther leaves and anyone else that did not want to obey. Literally, a decree that if you do not do what your husband says in this kingdom, you gotta go. Yes, you have to get out and never come back. Okay, never to return. And so they kicked her out, and all the other wives were to see her as an example, like, don't play. If we tell you on the pole to do anything. And it was just that drunken little heathen moment. I'm sure they weren't that crazy to really do that to somebody, but hey, they did it to Esther. I mean, to a Vashti. So Vashti leaves, and this is where Esther gets to enter through her uncle. Okay, so the first chapter talks about that, but Vashti refused to come to the king's command brought by the eunuchs. And he sent a lot of people. He was very furious with anger burning within him. And he said, wise men who understand the times, for this was the king's manner towards all. Now remember, they were drunk. It says, and when these days, hold on, first chapter, first verse, king dethrones Vashti, Queen Vashti. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus. This was the Ahasuerus who reigned over 127 provinces, from India to Ethiopia. In those days, when King Ahasuerus, that's how I pronounce it. I don't know if that's correct or not. Ahasuerus, okay, sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan, the citadel, that in the 3rd year of his reign he made a feast, and all his officials. What? Yeah, all his officials in his reign, he made a feast for all of his officials and servants, the powers of Persia, Media, whichever, the nobles, and all the princes of the province being present. So it's like he's the president. He invites all of the princes, the nobles, the Media, people of Persia, all the powers. He sent them all over and said, hey, what's up? Let's show out. So when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the splendor of his excellent majesty for many days, 180 days in all. I'm done. All right. So they acted a fool. They got drunk. They showed off. They shook their tail. They brought in great things to show off and to share. Royal wine. They were drunk, child. I'm sure there was type of drugs here. And Vashti made a feast for the women. How sweet. In the palace which belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was drunk, he commanded all of his people to go and get Vashti, because he was bragging to my, she's the baddest chick in the province. This is around the 10th verse. He wanted her to be a stripper. Wear her royal crown. Nothing else. I told you. He wanted her to wear nothing but her crown in order to show her booty. It says beauty. To the people and the officials, for she was beautiful to behold. He wanted her to come down and show her booty. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Buckaroo. He wanted her to show her butt with just a crown on, wearing her royal crown to show her beauty to the people. And the officials, when she was beautiful to behold, I can't breathe. Okay. And Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's command. I mean, he sent everybody, the eunuchs. He was mad. He was angry. He was drunk. Then the king said to the wise men, who understood the first time? The king's man. I'm sorry. He's naming off all these people. Okay, I'm being silly. He said, who understood the times? For this was the king's manner towards all who knew law and justice. Those closest to him being Kershina, no, anyway, all these different people, several princes and all of them who had access to the king's presence and who ranked highest in the kingdom. What shall we do to Queen Vashti for disobeying me? Okay. Oh, that's what they were all saying. Anyway, they ended up banishing her. They really made a law, and so they was pleased and with the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Mumakin. They sent letters out to all the king's provinces, to each province of its own script, and to every people in their own language, that each man should be master of his own house and speaking the language of his own people. Well, God already had commanded that man is the head of the household, but you do not abuse your power. Period. You can't make a woman come and strip for the pole. You can't make her dance on the pole, y'all. It's called pimping. Don't do that. So Esther becomes king. Anyway, so King Ahasuerus now um has decreed that she can't return, no one should serve her. Let the young, beautiful virgins be sought for the king, and let the king appoint officers in all provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather all the beautiful young virgins of Shushan. Leave them virgins alone, y'all. Jesus Christ, leave them alone. Thank you, Coda. Leave those virgins alone. Don't forget to subscribe, honey. I'm going to do more of these. So, they're sitting there saying they're going to go around up all the beautiful virgins. Okay, so he's having a get my body back revenge body moment. He's going to go and get the virginal girls, him and his friends, um, within the citadel, and have a women's quarter where they can be under the custody of Hajj, okay, the king's eunuch, because he can't rape. I'm just saying she can't be sexual. They wanted to, maybe with their tongue. Anyway, okay, reset. Don't do that. Calm down. All right. So they would be over the custody of the women, and let beauty preparations begin and be given to them, where they'll go through a cleansing. And these are people that would please the king to be queen instead of Vashti. This thing pleased the king, and he did so. In Shushan, the citadel, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai. Now, and we'll talk about Mordecai later. He's a hero here. And there's several other people that are in captivity. Mordecai had brought up Hadassah. That is Esther. Her real name was Hadassah, her uncle, or his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the young woman was lovely and beautiful when her father and mother Mordecai took her as his own daughter. So whatever this is, they made a decree that these young women would be gathered, go under the custody of this lady or man, whichever, and Esther was taken into the palace. Now remember, Esther wasn't thinking about this. These are young virgins. They're not on this stuff, kind of like me. I'm just saying. They're not interested in love, power, sex. They're just existing. I'm not going to say aimlessly, but she was young, kind of like me. She just, was cooling out, and her uncle Mordecai came and told her to be in the running. Now remember, this is just a casual gathering with intent. This man is looking for a wife, right? A new queen. Now it started as him being a greedy pimp or whatever, exploiter, but it's going to go in the favor of God's will. Her, let's say, uncle or cousin Mordecai comes and tells her hey, you need to go and put yourself in this program. Who knows? Maybe God chose you for such a time as this. Come on down. You are the next contestant on The Queen is Right. All right. So anyway, come on down. Esther she went under this regimen. Um, for whatever reason. Yeah, they did this for like 12 months, I guess. You have to cleanse whatever regimen they have for cleansing the women and getting them ready and all that to meet the king. So their insides are clean, their bodies are beautiful, their skin is supple, they're in receptive mode. Someone taking care of you, it makes you receptive to their, I'm not going to say antics, but someone to put you through 12 months or so of beauty treatments and hair treatments and skin treatments and 12 months, things that take care of your, what they call it, yoni, things that take care of your insides and out. They're getting clothes, they're having shelter. This is welfare, and that's not a negative word. It means that you're fairly being treated well. You're being cared for, looked after as a good thing, which it should mean. It shouldn't mean handout. We all need help, right? So they went through this, and after they completed the 12 months preparation to meet the king, according to the regulations for the women, for thus were the days of their preparation apportioned 6 months with oil of myrrh, ooh, Lord, and 6 months with perfumes and preparations for beautifying women. Now, think of all the women that came through there and got pretty. Oh, my goodness. Thus prepared, each woman went to the king, and she was given whatever she desired to take with her um, from the women's quarters to the king's palace. In the evening she went, and in the morning returned second house to the women to the custody of Gush, the king's eunuch who kept the concubines. I don't want to be a side chick, but I'm just saying it was a part of the day. Who would not go into the king again unless the king delighted in her and called her by her name. So she went down, and this man was like, now, there's 5 things her uncle told her to do, which I will not name here, but it's good for weddings, it's good for dating, it's good for long-term um, um, placements, permanent placement. 5 smooth things that she should do whenever she gets before the king. It's in here. I could tell you, but you got to pay me. I mean, you can read it, but you might not get it. Again, people kind of glaze over stuff. No, this stuff is for you to apply. But she got the king. She got the king. And I think I know what that is. But no, I know what it is. I just haven't found the right person to put it on. Because if you put it on the wrong person, they're going to put some on you, and it ain't going to be good. Yeah, you got to be careful. This is real. So, and this is not no voodoo, guys, okay? It's just what men are looking for, what God ordains. You have to know God to have an authentic, godly situation here. That's it. It's nothing magical. It's just obedience and understanding. When you hear it, you do it. That's it. It's very simple. When you hear it, you do it. If you didn't hear it, you better ask for it. It's simple, but you got to have your mind, spirit, and so clear of a whole bunch of other things. See, this was a virgin. She wasn't caught up in a whole bunch of, things that the world or family or friends, society, this, that, and the other be trying to teach you or subliminally get you into. These were girls that hadn't been exposed to a lot. So it was probably easy to teach them or train them or say certain things to them, and they would get it or just do it, and later they would understand why. However, Esther was selected, and the reason why I'm telling this story is because we need to know more about Esther. Esther was the next king in King Ahasuerus' palace, and basically, I'm going over, but she was the one who saved the Jews. That was her mission. She had no idea. She had no idea that she would save her people from this ratchet king, and we won't talk about him yet, but Haman. Haman is the vulture here. He's the monster that's feeding the king all this crazy stuff because he didn't like certain people. And so here's this king looking like a whole fool out here, about to kill all of these people. And thanks to Esther, Mordecai, and a few others, they were able to literally, miraculously, be involved in some of the conspiracies that Haman had against the Jews. Come to find out, Esther and Mordecai were Jews. Who knew that? They knew. And Haman didn't like them. Now, he didn't even know they were Jews per se. He just was hateful, just a hateful guy. So he's disguising himself under the king, telling him all this wacky stuff that he has as a prejudice. For what reason? You don't need a reason when you're just a hateful little troll. Anyway, he was trying to influence the king to kill all the Jews. And again, Esther and all of her people, including Mordecai, were now under some attack because of Haman. But we're going to leave it there and we'll come back and talk more about that. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe, maybe like if you want to share. That's great. But we're going to talk about this conspiracy, maybe with Haman. But I think we're going to focus still on Mordecai and this plot and how they came into power. So thank you for joining me. Until next time, thank you for the comments. Go ahead and share. And on the next time, we're going to definitely enjoy more. Remember, this is live. You can hear anything. You can see anything. Thanks and bye for now.